Throughout the run of this series, we have looked at the core essentials an action-adventure video game needs to be enjoyable. But these characteristics are part of something bigger, just as the Iron Man movies are a part of the MCU. I'm talking about immersion. Yes, the whole point of this series, and even its title. And it only took me about, let me check. 2, 4, carry the 3. Oh, almost a year. Fun. Well, it's not as if I had better things to do. Let's not lose track of the video for now. Maybe later I can go on another maniac tangent, but we'll see. For now, immersion. By definition, immersion is the fact of becoming completely involved in something. And this description is pretty accurate, yeah, but it does not fully represent the deepness of the concept well. It is present in various forms of media, like movies, TV, obviously video games, and, as strange as it may seem, radio. Yes, radio, that almost obsolete but still living form of media. There was one instance in story where a radio program caused panic in the US. The program in question was a broadcast of the War of the Worlds in 1938.
Message that came in from Grover's Mill by telephone. Just one moment, please. At least 40 people, including 6 state troopers, lie dead in a field east of the village of Grover's Mill, their bodies burned and distorted beyond all possible recognition. The next voice you hear will be that of Brigadier General Montgomery Smith.
The program adapted a part of the book, and apparently the narration of the invasion of New Jersey and other US cities was so believable that many people panicked and fled their cities, or even had mental breakdowns. Fun fact, some US citizens were so paranoid that they started shooting water towers because they looked like UFOs. Oh man, the 30s were wild. Although it is still being debated how many people actually went alien survival mode, it doesn't take away the fact that people still panicked due to the level of immersion they were experiencing at the time. And sure, in this time and day, this is less likely to happen. But back then, when TV shows were not more than a means to entertain and radio was king, people were influenced by the radio way more. This is immersion. The power or capability of media in any of its forms to influence the perception of the environment and even oneself through the senses. I really hope you remember the other videos, because if not, it means I have failed. Something I'm actually really familiar with. Damn, I really am a failure. Whew. Okay, enough self-deprecation. Let's move on. The last 4 videos I worked on are more or less sub-characteristics of immersion themselves. Characterization allows you to more easily relate to a character and their motives, thus allowing the player to experiment the game through another person's eyes. Gameplay and music dictate how the game will be paced and how you will move around the world. If the controls are smooth enough, you might not feel you are controlling someone else, but an extension of your body. The story a game tells helps create a world in your mind and a narrative you can follow and put yourself into. And finally, procedimental rhetoric gives you tools to learn from your mistakes or successes, just like in the real world. And I have stated in the 3rd video, the skills applied in a video game can sometimes be applied in the real world. All of this comes to show that video games are way more intricate than people give them credit for. All of these aspects I mentioned are essential when talking about immersion. These characteristics have to work together to reach the pinnacle of world building, gameplay, and learning. This pinnacle we call immersion. Well, enough about characteristics and stuff. Let's talk about something with personality. And by personality, I mean you. Yes, you, the viewer. Or for a more accurate word, the gamer. I really hate that word. The player interacts with immersion. In other words, immersion has an effect on the player most things don't have. The level of immersion is different depending on the media. The highest level of immersion is present in video games, because you are using almost all of your senses to perform a complicated series of actions. The more immersed you are in a game, the higher the level of engagement you will experience. For example, if music does not match the tone of a game, the level of immersion will be lessened, therefore making you enjoy a game much less than the creator originally intended. I know I sound like a broken record, but all of the characteristics have to work together to make the player feel like he is in another world, which is not yours, but that you momentarily live in. As I had said before, immersion is a main staple of all media, and as such, there are bound to be some exemplar examples. Exemplar examples? Hey, Isabel, can I say that? You sure? Okay, whatever you say goes. As I was saying, immersion is a huge topic, and covering every game that has an innovative immersion system could be next to impossible for me. Due to this, I have chosen two of the most critically acclaimed games of this decade and analyzed them on why their immersion is so effective. These two games are Raid Shadow Just kidding, no one sponsors me yet. So, the two games are Batman Arkham City and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Batman Arkham City focuses on everybody's favorite Caped Crusader, battling his way out of a villain-riddled Gotham. The game allows you to use various gadgets and stealth techniques that characterize Batman so much. In addition to this, the game is full with riddles you must solve in order to advance the story. Furthermore, there is a boss fight in this game which forces you to change up your strategies as you can't attack the boss in the same way twice. All of this makes you feel like Batman. It allows you to escape to a world where you are not yourself, but something else entirely. This is the beauty of immersion in video games. As for Breath of the Wild, a similar argument comes to mind. In Breath of the Wild, you are free to explore Hyrule in all of its glory. This enables you to progress in your own way. This freedom allows you to experience the game in your own way, at your own pace. Also, Link, the protagonist, is mostly a blank slate for you to project onto, so you feel as if you were in Hyrule beating monsters and solving puzzles, your own personal fantasy. You might think that these games are the pinnacle of immersion, but you would be wrong there. The past few years have brought about many technological advances. One of these advances is VR gaming, VR being short for virtual reality. It's a fairly new gaming branch which focuses on the player being inside of a game. They put a special headset and start enjoying the game on a whole different level. VR is really fun because you get to be the character. It is different from imagining you are the character. This gives you a new level of depth while also testing your senses to the limits. The possibilities with VR are actually endless. You could be a chef, a superhero, or even a soldier. Actually, let me touch on this a little bit more. You see, the US military uses VR systems to partially train their soldiers for combat, medicine, and even flight. All of this through VR. These VR systems may not be classified as games, but they were certainly inspired by them. And with this explanation, nobody can deny the influence games in general have had in this society. Okay, let me put some final thoughts into this. The ultimate goal of a game is to entertain, and they certainly do, but they also have a quote-unquote secret role, to escape. To escape, even if it is for some seconds, from reality, and sink yourself into yet another innovative world for you to explore. In the future, we might even see more types of games, which could include your other remaining senses, and they could elevate immersion to its next level. Well, looks like I did go on a tangent. Huh. Maybe I am crazy after all. Who knows? Well, that was all I had to talk about for today. And before I finish this video, I want to give some special thanks to my tutor, Miguel David Paez, which has been with me throughout all of this journey and has supported me since the start of this project. And finally, my family, which has always supported me and loved me for who I am and what I do. I am JDR Productions, and this was Let's Get Immersive. Thank you.